Hey, welcome to the Medium channel. Welcome to Tarot Time, where we dive into the energies of the week ahead through tarot cards and other divination tools and give a little bit of a forecast. We have a meditation card that we do, 3-card spread, and other divination cards and things of that nature. So if you're watching this as a video, just hang out for a minute. I give the live people a minute or two to get their notification to get here. Let me grab some water. And thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me on a Sunday morning. Who's here? Let's see, we have Millie and Suzetson, and Mr. Floyd's channeling is here. And Anna and Bella, welcome. Hi, Soul family. Glad that you're back too. Hi, Claire. Beautiful starseed. Hi, Brooke. Millie. Light and love. Won't be in the chat. See you Tuesday, 8 for the live show. Good, cool. And I think in Colorado you got a fair amount of snow, no? Recently, although March is the snowiest month out there, followed by April. And here in the Northeast, in upstate New York, we're getting ready to get chilly again, which is actually a good thing, although we love spring and we love those 60-degree days and kick darn close to 70 one day. But if it stays warm like that, then the blossoms come out too early, and an April freeze is inevitable in this here. So if we have apple blossoms blooming the end of March, the beginning of April, then there's no apples. So it's actually a good thing that it's going to get cold again. So anyhow, who else is here? Hi, Linda, Mr. Floyd, Anna. All the snow is melted, or well, that's Colorado, right? It snows about a foot, then it gets up to 60 and melts the next day. Don't worry, you'll have more. All right. So let's started. So feel better. Yes, feel better, Anna. I'm just looking at your comments, seeing if what I'm missing now. Brianna, Yvonne, Linda, hi all, hi everybody. And hello from Germany, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Yes, although the lighting it's very overcast, so there's not a lot of light going in. But let me fix my shirt. This is as close to a green shirt as I have. That's not a t-shirt, but I have my green background. So we're celebrating St. Patrick's Day. So it's a really busy week, energetically, astrologically. So what do we have going on? If my brain is working on a Sunday morning, let's see. What do we have going on? Well, we have the vernal equinox, or the spring equinox, or it's the autumn equinox down under, under the equator, and that's actually on the 19th because it's a leap year, so it's a little early this year. Here on the East Coast and points west. I think it's points west. It's in the 19th. Then when you go to Europe, it's on the 20th. But anyway, point being is that on the 19th, we're going to have two amazing ladies here on the channel. That would be Heather Istara, who you guys know, and Elaine Malloy, who that some of you know. She did a transmission on the autumnal equinox here in the Medium channel. So she's coming back for the spring equinox with Heather, and the two of them are going to give us some really good spring energy and some good healing energy and some good light with their transmission. So that's happening Tuesday at 7. Then if you want to flip over to the, Mr. Floyd's channeling channel, he's going to do some channeling work with Archangel Raphael and Saint Germain. But that's on Mr. Floyd's channeling channel, not on the Medium channel. So it'll be 8 Eastern time. And so you remember. Yes, so we're going to have them. And then Wednesday, we're going to do mediumship on the Medium channel. So it'll be on the 20th. So 8 times a year, right around the Celtic Sabbath. So we're coming to, what is it, Easter? Or, well, it's spring equinox. I forgot the Celtic name for that. But anyways, happy St. Patrick's Day. So I'm not Irish. I don't know my Celtic terms. But anyway, or Esther, or whatever the Celtic name is for spring equinox. On the 20th, we'll do some mediumship readings. So generally what I do is I just let you guys hang out. I'll pick up on the spirits, get messages for you, give them to the group, and do that for about an hour, all free, of course, because it's on YouTube. And what else? I think Friday night we're doing the full moon forecast, and it's Monday, a week from Monday, not tomorrow, is the full moon, and that's the beginning of eclipse season, and then that leads right into Mercury retrograde, and then the big solar eclipse on April the 8th. So it's very, very charged. We've kind of been, I don't want to say in a lull, because there's been definitely some spikes in frequencies that have been going on, but generally speaking, we've been in a little bit of a lull. It's going to pick up. We'll see what the cards are saying about this week and beyond. But the energies are getting ready to ramp up. So we're likely to have another period of a lot of major shifting and stuff like that. We're seeing some rumblings in the news. I'm seeing a lot coming up around Israel and Palestine, and mishandling of the pandemic, and the vaccination programs, and all the stuff. About another bust of a human trafficking ring in Florida happened recently. There's been some crazy things on the news with politics and everything, and it's interesting because people are starting to ask, who do I think's going to win, and I think if it really comes down to here in the U.S., Joe Biden and Donald Trump, I would give the edge to Donald Trump at this point, but I just feel like there's an unknown factor. I don't know if that's our JFK Jr. or RFK Jr. God, okay, it's Sunday morning. Excuse me. Or if another candidate's going to emerge. I mean, I don't know, but it just feels like, I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe I'll get some more clear information as we get closer, but I wouldn't be surprised if some surprise candidate actually wound up being the next president. But in any event, let's do some tarot stuff now that it's 11:11 now, or thereabouts. I can't see the time. So what I like to do to start out is just pull a meditation card that as long as I'm able to open my heart, open my mind, stop my thinking so I can connect to spirit, they'll guide me to the right card for us for this week to work on our meditation and our spiritual work. So we'll have that for you well, not now, but in a second. Oh yeah. So Ostara, thank you for the proper name, Ostara. Yes, now it's all coming back to me. Um, and then Easter Day, the Western Christian version. That's on March 31st this year, and we're gonna do tarot time that morning. I don't think I have any plans. Nothing I know of yet. Anyways, that's in 2 weeks, right? So Easter's coming up. Easter, happens to be the only major lunar-based Christian holiday. There's other Christian holidays that are lunar-based, but Easter's the big one. So we'll celebrate the resurrection of Christ together on that day. And Easter, in case you don't know, is always going to be the first Sunday after the first full moon after the spring equinox. So that's the lunar-based energy of it. This year it's early-ish, but not super early. All right, so I'm going to mix card up. Hello, Donna. Hello from Ireland. Happy St. Paddy's Day. Thank you. Brilliant. Thanks for joining us. And Suzette in New Hampshire, welcome. So on my mom's side, I have some Irish blood, apparently. Dad's side's all German, old German Jew on my father's side. Mother's side is about everything under the sun except Oriental. Yes, 331. Yeah, it says 47. So when you ask, so ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, is trying to create an artificial Easter. I believe that's Orthodox Easter on 4/7. That goes by a slightly different time level. That 4/7 may not be completely inaccurate. I'd have to look that up, but that might be Orthodox Easter. And your birthday is 3/31, so you're an Easter baby. Wow, blindly inspired. Great. All right. Um, All right. So I'm missing some of your chats, but I'm catching some of it also. All right. So let me I need to just take a breath, clear my mind so that I'm allowing spirit to work through me now. And so we want the best meditation card for this week. So I'm going to show me the number 9, which is Mars energy, which is action, but it's also completions. So this might be a good week for completing something for a lot of us. Okay, got it. This one. Interesting. So we have your court card. We tend to get very often, either major arcana or court cards for our meditation card for the week. The way I recommend meditating with tarot cards, I mean, you can do it many different ways. It's all energy. It's all intention. Intention moves mountains. So that's the most important thing. Presence, opening of heart and mind, and intention. So when you get really present, now I work with the Morgan Greer deck now, so that's what this, cards from the Morgan Greer tarot. If you have your own tarot cards, find the Queen of Cups. That's the water sign females. That's could be like the moon goddesses, the ocean mothers, like Yemaya of the Yoruban faith. Who's the ocean goddess for the for I can't remember or the anyways. I know there's one in Norse mythology, and anyways, but the point being is that this is like water energy, emotional energy, and the queens are water, and cups are water, and tarot. So it's water of water, basically, this card. So a lot of intuition. So, this meditation may be more about, like, again, opening the heart and connecting more with spirit through heart brain coherence, heart brain spirit coherence, and expanding into those higher realms that way through the element of water, through emotion, feeling, intuition, and everything. So if you have your own, getting back to how we meditate with cards, but if you have your own deck, choose that. If not, you can take a mental snapshot of this one, and you get very relaxed, very present, very open, and then in your mind you step into the card. And as you're doing that, what you want to do, you want to be very present, is so much to feel the energy as you go into one reality, which is your room or wherever you're meditating, into another reality, which is this card. The energy is going to be different. So, what do you feel emotionally? What do you feel physically? Maybe you get colors or smells or sounds. These are just different triggers that you can attune to the energy. But each tarot card is like a universe unto itself in a way. It's like an archetypical image of all possibilities of life with the 78 cards of the tarot. So then, the Queen of Cups might be a spirit guide. It might be you connecting with your own divine feminine energy, your own intuition. But once you step in and you see not just the card, but everything that's hidden, you can't see until you step into the world, and it's like being in a multi-dimensional experience, not a two-dimensional image of a lady holding a cup. There's a whole panoramic view that you step into, and see what comes up. You may meet with other guides, you may meet animal totems, you may get messages from spirit, whatever it is. So that's how I recommend meditating with cards. And see what are you guys saying in the chat here? Hi, early birthday blindly? Yes, I shall. Early candles with chocolate. All right, you're allowed. Something must. I'm a new Florida resident. I lived in Florida for about 6 years. I'm a new Florida resident, female, young, single, go out to clubs. Yeah, you need to watch the no idea about the trafficking. It's not just Florida. That's just where the latest bust that I read about on my news feed happened. It's not just Florida that's happening. It's a global problem, and it's been going on for a while. And though at this point I have to say it's still a conspiracy theory, but one that has a lot of circumstantial evidence behind it. But basically there's a whole like child trafficking, human trafficking ring that involves people pretty high up in like politics and possibly Hollywood and stuff like that. So that's still in the realm of theory, but there's something going on. I'll put it that way. This is real, and even in the 60s, my parents were terrified because children were disappearing back then, and never to be heard from again. So yeah, but what's going on? In mainstream news, you don't get the news. You get trickles of it sometimes, but you get whatever it is that those powers that be, the forces that control the world, want the people to see, because it's a programming tool, amongst other things. I mean, of course, you get what's going on in the world, and it's not like it's all fake news or anything like that. It's just that it's orchestrated in a way, like, what stories are we going to publish? What stories are we going to omit from the news? What are we going to elaborate on? And you use what I call tricknology. In other words, they could create just by changing one word, they can change the whole story around. Um, and technically not be lying about it, if that makes any sense. But anyways, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, a little bit behind myself, or roundabout, or whatever. But the point being is that yeah, I like to see what's going on in the news, 'cause I like to see what they're saying, and what they're trying to do. But if you can control the thinking of a society, you control that society, and that's basically the media's job. So you look at things that are coming to the surface, because a lot of it's coming up in trickles. That's been accelerating since around 2022, and as we come into this eclipse energy season, it's all happening in Aries. The sun's in Aries. Mercury's going to do its whole retrograde thing through the sign of Aries. Um, the moon will be in Aries on April the 8th, when the solar eclipse is. And Aries is an initiator. It's Mars energy. It's the first sign of the zodiac. So it's very raw, like kind of raw power, non what's the right word? I can't think of words this morning. It was happening yesterday too. Well, it's sophisticated, non-refined energy. That's the word I'm looking for. It's very like raw power. And it's energy, it warriorship, war, but it's not all. Mars isn't all about war, but in any event, eclipses are harbingers of change. It's really focusing that Aries energies. The eclipse itself will be at 19 degrees of Aries. 19 is a very benevolent solar degree point of that sign, so it's not doom and gloom. I mean, some things that need to die may die here in our world, in our society, but I think it's more of awakening than a death kind of an energy, and an initiation. So a lot of people are going to have spiritual initiations over the next several months that follow. And it's interesting because they just popped Japan in my mind for some reason, that Japan may start to get a little bit more active in some of the stuff that's going on in the West, with the conflicts and everything. So anyway, so that's how to do that. Donna saying independent journalism is the way to go. Yeah, as long as it's not politically motivated. So if I know something's right winged or something's left winged in their motivation, I'm not going to really pay attention because it's biased. So we try to look for those that understand that the right wing and the left wing, are two wings of the same corrupt bird, basically. So anyhow, but yes, absolutely, what you're saying, Donna, is absolutely the way to go. I agree with you. So let's do a 3-card spread, see if we can tap in more into the energies that we're likely to experience this week, either in our personal lives, or in this community, or in the world at large that affects us. So we will do that. And Ramadan, thank you for reminding us. Ramadan comes up, and then April 9th. So April 8th is the new moon, because that's the solar eclipse. So April 9th is the first day of the new moon. Oh, nice, Millie. I'm just checking out your comments. So let me now. So yeah, this is a good point because I like to look at the headline. I want to see what they're saying. Like I said, I don't not one of those that believes that the news is all lying. I think that it's either altering the truth to some degree, but I think more it's like I look for the omissions, what they don't say that's going on. Like I remember years ago, there was this story about like anthrax and these white envelopes going into that, and then something very succinct came out about the possible source. The next day, I never heard a word about that. It's almost like it never even happened. And that's kind of how the media operates. So it's like, where do they want our attention focused? Now, there's a lot going on with like conspiracy theories, right? We don't do conspiracy theories here, but we do conspiracy facts. I'll talk about them because they're interesting, and sometimes the theories become facts. But we have to keep grounded in this whole thing, not get kind of caught up in all the hype and all the collective fear and anxiety and everything, because a lot of these conspiracy theories are orchestrated to bring our attention to one place while the true conspiracy is happening in another place. So be mindful of that. And it's similar with the media. They'll direct your attention one way and divert your attention from something else that's going on in another way. But it's not that hard to figure out what the end games are, whether it's you know um aliens, extraterrestrials working with the governments to control humanity, or you just chalk it up to the human greed and lust for power that we've seen on this planet for thousands of years. Whatever you chalk it up to, the end game is always like follow the money and follow the corrupt flow of power. Like where are the agendas of trying to control the masses and trying to control the money? And that's a good, if you had that perspective, then you have a good idea of what's going on, or why things are happening the way they are, and why there's conspiracy theories, conspiracy facts, omissions of truth, misdirection of energy, and all that kind of stuff, basically. Uh, Follow the money. Yes, Suzette, exactly. Money and the corrupt flow of power is kind of the way I sort of sum that up. Uh, Donna saying truth mixed with more lies. Yeah. There's always some truth because, if it was all lies, nobody would listen, right? So anyway, so maybe that's one of the themes. It's being very discerning about the news. We're probably going to get, a few unsettling stories this week. Anything coming up? They're showing me soldiers. There's this whole war agenda also is something to be aware of. That we are peace. We are not war. We are love. We are peace. We are of the heart. And Jody saying it's always about the balance. Yeah. So Donna's saying it is said that at least 95% turn out to be true. I don't know the percentage, honestly, but some of them, a lot of them do turn out to be true. There's things, back in 2020 that I was saying, I get a lot of stuff directly from spirit or source or my guides. So a lot of stuff that I was saying was pretty early. Not too many people were saying this about what the that virus, that thing that started in 2020, and how things were handled. I even got before it even hit the United States, I even got the exact month that the vaccines would be rolled out. So I was getting a lot of information that way. And there's a and the oh, okay, I was talking about the conspiracy theories, and I would you say things on social media, and I'd see that it would get like shadow banned or censored or stuff like that, and then maybe like 6 months later then you could say it basically. Like a good example is that the COVID, the lab leak theory, basically. That would get my videos taken down for medical misinformation. It's the most prevalent reason why it spread. It's kind of silly in a way. Like, yeah, the bats started it. Yeah, it was the bats. It's like, but there's no bats infected by this web market. But what about that facility over there that works with coronavirus? Oh no, it's not that. It's the bats. It's like, really? It's what's that story called? Emperor's Clothes. I think the brave child is finally saying, "Look, the emperor has no clothes," and it's like, "Oh my god!" It's like, okay, so I think that's where we're at, right now, in the disclosure of truth and the exposure of the agendas and the lies and everything. Um, Again, they just want to you control the money, you control the power, you rule the world and all that stuff. There's big problem with inflation. We could talk a little bit about the economy. Inflation was again up in February, even though they were trying to tell us that the economy is good. But guess what? The ruling party, they have all the money. It doesn't matter if prices go up, but it matters to us. And if our dollar or our euro or whatever doesn't go as far, people are likely to be more fearful. They're likely to, it affects their energy, and they're less in their power, more easy to control. So again, there's something behind things. It's not just supply and demand with the economy. There's an X factor, and I'm not an economist, so I can't really detail that, but there's an X factor, and I think that's just those in charge decide, how the economy is going to trend, basically. And then there's a lot of like different ideologies and different forces clashing, because there's groups that really want to kind of not centralize currency, but kind of even it out a little bit and adjust the exchange rates. There's others that want the major currencies, like the US dollar is a major player in the world. They want to see us go back to the gold standard that we lost in 1972 under the Nixon administration. Um, and things along those lines. And then there's others that want to eliminate currency altogether, make it all digital, and that's an easy way to control things also. So there's a lot of there's a lot of different energies that are sort of coming together. And the idea is the more we awaken and the more we're able to assist others in awakening, it affects the collective, so that when the laws are adjusted or shifted, or whatever the word is. I can't think of words this morning. My gosh. Um, anyway, when the laws are changed or whatever, it comes from a place of consciousness, a place of spiritual evolution, a place of humanity, rather than a place of greed, control, and power. So that's the idea. Our main jobs now are to awaken. I'm the only person that I can awaken. I can't awaken you or anybody else, but I can work on my spiritual tools and do that for myself. But we're part of a collective field, so the more of us that awaken, the easier it becomes for other people to awaken. And that's how this great awakening happening. To start slow. There have been forerunners like myself and a lot of you all. I had my first awakening in 79. And yeah, I know it's hard to believe I'm that old, but but I am. I was in college then, and it's very spontaneous, and it's kind of that's been my journey ever since. So that was 45 years ago now. Um, yeah, I'm just looking. Yeah, music of the spheres is great. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, music is great. Music of the spheres. And it's the higher ups that we don't even know and control. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't really know. Thank you, Donna, for that also. Thank you, Blindly Inspired. And thank you. All right. This is our kind of, even though it's tarot times, kind of our community hangout. Yeah, I love sound and singing bowls. And by the way, we do channeling here, and when the group that I work with, the master teachers, comes through, there's a lot of toning, and I kind of half joke with my friend that they taught me how to sing, basically, because it's like, oh wow, my voice doesn't sound tinny when they're coming through. It sounds very whole and rich, and they're probably Solfeggio frequencies, though I can't validate that when they do the toning, because I don't know the frequencies that well, but I know they're all in the 369 code, in the Tesla code. Anyways, so here's going to be our three cards. So I need to stop talking for a second, fan these out, because that's how I do this, and I just kind of pull them from the deck. Number one. So you want this one in the middle, okay. This one on the left. And where are we going? This one on the right. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. So generally, the energy that I'm feeling is a fair amount of dissension, but more on a local level. So I think for a lot of us, yeah, and I think this is sort of spilling over from last week, that you may find people being kind of cranky and kind of like if you're saying things or have certain beliefs, you may find more pushback amongst people around you, like friends or stuff like that. Now we're kind of starting here, um, and this is actually the Five of Swords, actually like a victory in a way. It's sort of a victory card. And it can be in some cases almost like an empty victory, almost like I don't want to go into this battle, but I have to, kind of an energy, basically. But but it feels to me like this is going to be a good week to really work on more of that purging and cleansing energy, clearing whatever negative forces are acting in your life. Yeah, I feel like they're saying this is an exposure, because it's also a five, and five is Mercury. It travels. It's the news spreading, the word spreading, and swords is air also. So there's a lot of that kind of a lot of stuff coming up on the news. It's kind of saying in my mind, it's like your news and stuff like that is being leveraged, even weaponized to some degree. And it really starts with the politics. So, I think that they just want people in a lot of disagreement. Yeah, what else is new, right? But I think that we find that that could be like become even more of a thing. And the twos are really about duality. And again, there may be some difficult news or things that come up around money, the economy, or stuff like that. It feels to me like we're just going to be in this big up and down roller coaster with like stocks and securities and monies and stuff like that. I mean, this could represent a merger, but I also think that one or two major companies are going to be shutting down in the next week or two also. Not Amazon. Yeah, whoever thought that. Maybe it's going to be Amazon. No, I don't think that. But and then the Magician card, that's another air energy. That's Mercury energy, basically. Mercury's the trickster, especially when he's reversed like that, the cosmic trickster. But the but when it comes to the cosmic trickster, it's not negative. Sometimes we need to get tricked into learning. We need to kind of fall for the shenanigans. We'll use some Celtic words today, because it's St. Patrick's Day, so we can. If we fall for the shenanigans, we get wiser, as a result. So being tricked can lead to greater knowledge and greater wisdom and stuff like that. I feel like they say not to let people get under your skin. So you may find that a lot of people are very edgy. Maybe it has to do with Mercury just really just a couple of days ago went into its approach to the April 1st Mercury retrograde that begins then. So that affects communications when Mercury starts to slow down from our perspective on Earth. And lots of miscommunication. Make sure you're understanding the other person before reacting. This has a very reactive feeling to me. I'm reminding myself this is a note to me also. Don't react to things so much. And of course, I teach non-reactivity through being the observer of how you react. So it's not really so much non-reacting; it's stepping back and observing how you react, because 95% of our reactions are subconscious. They're programmed into us. A lot of that, about 90% of that happens before we're like 7 or 8. What we see in repetition. My father responds or reacts in a certain way with frustration, and I do the same thing. So that's how I got one of the many ways that I got programmed growing up. And so, I don't I think it's kind of a fool's errand to just try to just say, "Oh, I'm just gonna be pleasant. I'm not gonna react. I'm just gonna let it go." That doesn't work for me. It probably doesn't work for you. But what does work for me is as I'm reacting to something, rather than being the person reacting to it, I can step back and observe myself reacting to it. And this is a very Joe Dispenza concept, because I become now the observer of the programming rather than being entrenched into the programming, just playing it out over and over and over again. So that's how the vicious cycle stops, when you step out and observe rather than participate. That's the first step, basically. So I think they're trying to show me that, or get me to say that here. And I'll check your comments in a second, because it looks like you got some interesting things coming up. The Magician card, remember, you're powerful. You create your reality. Um, if your reality sucks, or sorry to be blunt, nobody's reality sucks, but you know what I'm saying. If your reality's not what you wanted to be, don't you don't want to go into guilt and shame. It's like, well, I must suck. If my reality sucks, and I create my reality. Again, that's the programming. It's the 95% of us that's programmed is creating our reality until we become conscious, and then we consciously create our realities individually. But we also have to be harmonious with the collective energies. What we're creating collectively as well. So, law of attraction, you're not just like, oh, I'll say some affirmation, do some vision boards, and poof, it's going to happen. There's a whole spiritual process that goes on, a whole reprogramming process, a whole changing of your energy fields. And then when you're able to do that, then your affirmations and vision boards actually start to work for you. Imagine that. So again, this feels like a lot of purging. It's okay to purge old ideas. It's okay to be wrong, basically, to let go of beliefs that aren't serving you anymore. It's our egos that want to hold on. It's a human survival instinct. It's not a negative or a bad thing. We have an ego for a reason, or egos for a reason. Well, I can say an ego, because there's a collective ego also, right? That we all tap into with our personal egos. um and that it's if we're not conscious, if we're not observing, then our egos are infiltrating our subconscious, and we're not even aware of it. So that's most people are that way, that they're not aware that their egoic self is really, there's a subconscious component to that. But when you start to observe your reaction, you start to become present, you meditate, open, expand your heart, expand your brain, expand into spirit. Then you function more from spirit, and it's a whole different results happen in your life, because you realize, hey, I'm not my body, so I don't need to always subconsciously be ruled by these survival instincts of the human body, of the physical, because I'm spirit. I just have a human body, and I have a human experience. So everything changes, and again, it's not just lip service. You really have to go in and reprogram to really feel that and believe that. Basically, sometimes just saying it enough times can change your belief systems also. So anyway, use your head, stay grounded this week. Don't fly off the handle about things. Nothing really bad comes up. It almost just feels like a lot of cleanup going on. So I think what's happening around the world, around those forces that want to control everything. That a lot is leaking out. There's a lot that gets screwed up. If you really do feel like there's a dark agenda, which I do, if there's a ruling class like the elite or the cabal, what I've been shown, and this has been going on since 2022 is when the shift started to happen. At least I mean, it's a gradual thing. So you can't really pin it on just 1 year or one day, but it just feels like things were starting to shift in a way that the light had won, sort of metaphorically speaking, anyway. That we had shifted out of the dark ages into the Aquarian age. Um, but those that want to maintain those dark agendas, they start to scramble because they want to keep ahead of the awakening. They want to prevent people from awakening, because if people are awakened, it's not going to work anymore. We become too smart and too sophisticated for these, almost like cheap psychological tricks that they lay on society to stop working, and people start to see through things. So they have certain agendas, things they want to happen. People awaken, they've got to change the agendas. So I think we see more of that kind of stuff, and it just feels like they're going to try to squelch something. I'm not sure what that something is. It could be a few things, but I think the next week or two, you're going to see a lot of that kind of stuff in the news. So anyway, so what are you guys saying here? So for the evil ones, not us, we are protected. Yes, we are. And I understand Mars is masculine, Saturn is Sirius, and yeah, this is true. And yeah, shit's getting serious, says Anna. That's a good perspective. We also have Mars. Oh, so Mars is conjunct Saturn now. Yeah, it's usually I check my ephemeris. So Mars isn't Saturn in Taurus. Oh no, what's in Taurus? It's not Saturn. Oh, well, I believe you. If you say Mars, it's Mars and Saturn are conjunct. I believe you. But anyways, so Mars and Saturn is interesting. So I think it was you also, or Donna, that was saying Mars is what's going on with the royal family. I don't really do too much with the royal family. I know a lot of psychics do. I mean, I think it's the same old stuff. And that's in the Vedic astro. This is the same. Oh yeah. All right, yeah. Vedic astrology or sidereal astrology is a little bit different. Because things in the sky from the perspective of Earth move over time. So when like the sun's in Libra, say, or whatever, yeah, in Western astrology, it's really in the constellation of Virgo still. So that's sidereal astrology, I believe, if I'm getting that right, which is Vedic astrology. Also takes into account the actual constellation rather than the section of the sky, as in Western astrology. I find they both work, to be honest. And I also find that there's a system of ancient Tibetan astrology where you would take your time of conception rather than your time of birth as your birth chart. So I knew when my son was conceived, the angels came in, and basically, my wife, I looked, we were, having a good time. We were outdoors having a really good time. Um, and the angels were coming. I was seeing a lot of pink light. And I'm like, if we do this, we're gonna have a baby. And she's like, I know. And we conceived, and we had Odin, our son. So so I did the chart for when he was conceived. Lots of squares. Like I think there's a grand cross. Then his birth chart. There are actually two grand crosses in his birth chart. One affecting 15 degrees of the fixed sign, with Moon 15 degrees Scorpio as the centerpiece of that. Very, very intense energy for a very calm person. Well, although there's a lot that goes on with him. But anyway, the point being, it's like I was like, wow. I mean, these charts are kind of telling me the same thing. So these different systems, they're not the same, but there's an overlap. At least I believe that. So Sun is conjunct Neptune today. Interesting. Yeah, I know Neptune's in Pisces, so yeah, I know we're in that season. Yeah, right. That's right, Anna. That's an interesting story, right? Yeah. Uh, all right. So I have more things we want to do, and this is how we run an hour and over on tarot time. So there's a lot of community hangout and talking, but I have Native American tarot also that I like to just pull a card from this to see how that relates to the three main cards that I pulled also. All right. Here we go. And the one we got is the Maiden of Vessels. We've gotten this maiden before, more than once. Maiden of Vessels, I believe, would translate to the Page of Cups in the tarot. Pages of earth, cups again are of water, basically. Um, so it's got that kind of an energy. And I'm just taking a look at that. So this card, and it almost looks like a flying saucer in a way, and the birds are behind her, kind of following her, and the birds represent spirit or messages from spirit or spirit messengers. I think they made in a vessel. I think it's trying to say, hey, us, the way this card is feeling to me, I think, to add to this message, that some of us need to step forward and not to allow ourselves to be victims of other people's nonsense. I always say choose your battles wisely, especially when there's so much Aries energy coming in. You don't want to just what's the right word? Yeah, choose. You don't want to choose your battles unwisely because there's likely to be a lot of battles. It's good to stay in the heart. That's the eye of the storm. So stay in the eye of the storm, basically. um, but speak up when it's necessary, because it's almost like we're leading the way, and spirit is behind us. The birds are behind us, and the vessels. Cups is about emotions, is about love. So we're leading with love, and having the cup on the head, to me, that's heart brain coherence. When we bring our hearts to vibrational coherence through magnified frequencies of things like gratitude, compassion, love, and stuff like that, and we're able to sit with that, the heart and the brain blend because they're connected anyways, and then the brain becomes coherent. Now, when our hearts feel fear, dread, anxiety, guilt, shame, and all that stuff, it brings the heart out of coherence, and therefore the brain is out of coherence. And lo and behold, we're very easy to control. So what does the media do? Fear, be afraid, be angry with each other, be divided, yeah, be fearful and shameful, all that stuff, because they know, those that rule, the ruling class, they know about astrology, they know about numerology, they know all about the stuff that we talk about here, but they try to exploit it against people where we're trying to help people awaken. So that's the difference, and they don't like people like me, just to put that out there. So yeah, I do a lot of spiritual work so that I don't get negatively affected by all the nonsense. Trust me, there's a lot of it, and I'm not even at 10,000 subscribers yet. I don't know how the spiritual YouTubers that have like millions of subscribers are able to do it, but kudos to them. But in any regards, so it's like the cup is the emotion, it's the feeling. So it's okay to feel, it's okay to remember like past traumas, because that's how we can integrate the shadows and become whole and complete again. All the stuff is okay. So we want to lead with our heart, basically. And when the heart becomes coherent, the brain becomes coherent, so we can think clearly, we can discern, and we can also ascend to spirit. So when the heart and the brain are coherent and they start to function as a unit again, which is what is meant to happen, the heart being the largest electromagnetic generator of the body, and the brain being the transmitter and receiver of that information, basically. But they're really two parts of the same whole. Then we start to blend with source and spirit. So that's what happens when we reintegrate heart and mind and become whole and complete again. We become whole and complete with spirit again. They're trying to keep us segregated from each other, from ourselves. She's saying, be proud of who you are, be proud of your spirituality, and what you have to say, what you have to offer, because a lot of us were persecuted, killed. We were celebrating St. Patrick's Day. It's a beautiful holiday. But one perspective or one symbolism with St. Pat, or possible interpretation of St. Patrick chasing the snakes out of Ireland. Well, snakes represent feminine energy. It represents paganism, like that kind of a thing, and empowerment, female empowerment, and stuff like that. So you can take this in a couple of different ways. I'm definitely not anti-Christian or anti-Catholic, so don't take this the wrong way. But there was a takeover that happened in Europe, where innocent pagan people that had their little places of worship set up, and they were farmers, or a lot of them were Serbs also. They were conquered, they were killed, burned, whatever, and then the Christians would come in. They would build their churches on these sacred lands, because they'd already built up the energy, and they would basically align their holidays with the pagan holidays, particularly the Celtic holidays, because it's St. Patrick. Don't talk about that. Like Yule became Christmas. Historically, and from everything that we were able to understand, Jesus was not born around the Christmas, around the solstice. That's the birth of the sun god, and then became the birth of the son of God. So you see a lot of these parallels, and again, and I talk about this a lot, just like the takeover of the Native Americans here, the average person was not that person you read in the history books, basically. For the most part, the Christians believed that they had the word of God, and that they felt that they could do this to save the pagans, and to be indoctrinated into their religion. They weren't trying to conquer them or anything. They were trying to help them, basically. So they wanted to make their religion more attractive to those people. So anyway, there's a little, as I understand it, history lesson. So anyhow, and careful with communication, yes, and we're already in the approach to that Mercury retrograde. And welcome. I didn't see you earlier, so so welcome, and thanks for that reminder. So let's see. I have the Isis card, the Isis Oracle with me. Yeah, Ireland lost her magic. Yeah, I mean, I still, again, I have mixed feelings, I'll put it that way, but I understand, that in a way. But they'll find their magic again, and the magic is the new religion. It's not just Christianity or Judaism or paganism or Zoroastrianism or whatever the heck. It's like one religion, and then we can practice it however we want. So I do believe that as time goes on, there'll be a reintegrating of these different religions, like whatever. It's happening. It's sort of a more of a worldview. September, I wouldn't be surprised. And that can open up a whole other conversation, because it's pretty, talking about conspiracy theories becoming conspiracy facts. Not everything's proven, but the circumstantial is overwhelming that this was a planned, orchestrated event, rather than an isolated terrorist, that let's just say other forces that might surprise the average person were actually behind that, or at least partially. Some people died, but then there was the Patriot Act. Then there was people just voluntarily giving up more of their rights, basically, after that happened. So again, fear, division, and all that will do that. So anyways, so there's that, and right around this time of year is the other possibility. They're kind of looking for like planetary what's it called, like um conjunctions, or comets, or something, natural phenomena that would explain the Christmas star. So they look for things like that, from my understanding, anyways. And yeah, they have it narrowed down to September, right around the 11th, and also March. Anyways, I still like to celebrate Christmas. All right. And symbolically, we can celebrate the birth of Christ, anyways, or the rebirth of Christ, as it were. So I'm going right to this card. So I'm going to go with it. God. And we got Wings of Isis. We like the Wings of Isis. The message is uniting with the angelic self. So this, again, connecting with the heart. The angelic self really dwells in the heart center. So this is a beautiful energy and a beautiful reminder. What else is going on? Yeah, and the light's coming from her heart also. I'm noticing that. And then there's kind of like these concentric circles, and it almost looks like an orb here, or some very strong spiritual sign. And she's kind of like in prayer, but she's also looking ahead. All right. So I think part of this, again, it's a very angelic thing, but also I feel like there's a lot of healing available to us right now, and a lot of us are really starting to feel our energies more and learning how to project it more and better, thereby becoming energy healers. Also, this one just popped out. Also, this says power over 7 scorpions, power to conquer lower vibrational forces. So this card just popped out on its own as well. That's very synonymous with the strength card in the tarot. There used to be key 11, by the way. We talked about 11 before. In modern tarot, it became key 8. 11 is also in Chaldean numerology, the lion's muzzle and clenched fist, which is basically overcoming the lower forces, as it were. And then the strength card also has that symbology of the lady, taming the lion as well. So so again, this kind of connects with this. I think part of this main message with this, that, and then this card is just kind of saying, this is the time to work on overcoming the lower natures. And how do we do that? We go into the heart. We don't try to do it. We set the intention and we connect with higher vibrations. And that's it. And then when we're ready, things will start to rise to the surface that have been suppressed in the subconscious. And then we can understand what that lower nature is, whether it's suppressed anger and traumas or whatever the heck it is. So anyway, moving right along. Let's do our frequency for the week. The Cathars new, yes, Cathars. A lot of planets were in Pisces, and now it's starting to transition into more like the Aries energies. I think at one point there's 4 or even 5 planets. I think for a day there might have been 5 planets in Pisces, and either Mercury or Venus transited into Aries. One of them did. Probably not Venus. I should be looking at my ephemeris before I do this, because we didn't have it. Wasn't that long ago that we had a Venus retrograde. So Venus, it's probably behind the sun still. In other words, you would see it in the morning, before sunrise. You start to see Venus high in the sky after the setting sun. That a Venus retrograde is not too far behind. So anyway, we got the crown chakra for our frequency of the week. So we've talked about the heart. Now let's talk about the crown, heart brain coherence. And it's all purple and violet. And the frequency of the crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe and our ability to transmute negative energy into light. So that's becoming a theme today. There's usually a theme, transmuting the negative into the positive. It's all light, or the absence of light. The void, it's not negative, light couldn't exist without darkness in the first place. So the idea is to really, just gaze in the middle, just absorb the sacred geometry energy. You don't need to anything intellectual, just absorb it, bring it into you. And that's all that's needed. And that's that. So integration again. We have several videos on how to do heart brain coherence. an ancient practice, but it's also a modern practice thanks to research done by Heart Math Institute and Greg Braden and others. So, but it's the crux of it is feel grateful. And the way I like to do it is certainly I can count my blessings. It's easy for me. I'm very, very fortunate. But even people that don't have the same good fortune that I do at this, just very temporary blip in time and space right now, you can always find something to be grateful for. But what I like to do is get very present, so present that I'm not a name, I'm not a body, I'm energy, I'm spirit, I'm frequency, I'm aware of everything, focusing on nothing, presence. So deep meditation, basically. And if I can lock into that energy, the present moment, once I lock in, I start to ascend. Like I feel like I get a head rush. Joe Dispenza calls it the sweet spot of the present moment. So once I find that, I can't help but to be grateful. And I don't need anything to be grateful for, just the now. It's perfect in the now. And I may have a lot going on in my life. I may be in physical pain, but once I'm there, that doesn't matter. My physical pain doesn't take away from the beauty and perfection of this now moment. And I can transcend that by doing that. And I've done it. And once you're there and you're grateful just for the now, and then you feel compassion, that's when the heart becomes coherent and the brain will automatically lock in. But what I like to do is what I feel in my heart, I feel in my brain also. And then I feel an even greater light, a greater heart around me, and my heart and the universal heart blend. And then I'm doing heart, brain, spirit coherence, which I'm kind of added that onto the practice recently. But of course, it'll be on online courses. You'll all get that. So anyway, we've got a lot more to talk about, don't we? We have our what time is it? Wow, we're already an hour. Cool. We've got a lot to do today too. Busy, busy day. Thank you. So I didn't have to. Oh, I love this one, Mother Mary. And the miraculous encounter, divine experiences. Do not be afraid of being powerful. That's a beautiful message right there. We are power. We are love. And there's a lot of deep blues in this card, which I love, which is very peaceful, tranquil energy. And it's very heart centered also. So, yeah, Mother Mary, very good. I love it. And expect miracles. Every day is a miracle. Expect miracles. And this will be a good day or a good week to really pray for miracles, affirm them, and see what happens also. So always know that we're divinely guided. There's a lot of this divine feminine energy that's really starting to make itself known, and there's a lot of compassion and wisdom within the divine feminine. So I think we're really tapping into that a lot. And we'll quickly do our animal totem and our angel message and get on our way here. So this is from the medicine card. So this is North American animals covered in this particular deck. This Native American. All right, I found my card. It's this one. Or I found your card. Oh, it's the weasel, but it's 33. 33 is a sacred number. Weasels are very stealthy, right? I'll look up the meaning of this in a second. I don't have it committed to memory, but they're very stealthy. Up where I live in the Catskills, we have fishers, which are in the weasel family. They're darker, they're very stealthy and somewhat aggressive too, I have to say. But do I have the book with me? Yes, I do. So number 33, weasel. Well, we've got rabbit. We're getting there. Rabbit's number 30. So you're talking about, and actually it says stealth in the book, so that was a good call. Actually, we're talking a lot about Jesus, right? And spirituality, and then Mother Mary came up. Well, and we're coming up to Easter. Well, he was allegedly 33 when he was crucified. So there's another 33, and most people have 33 vertebrae in their back. Some people have 32, some have 34, but 33 vertebrae. So 33 is a very powerful master number, and it's really kind of the number that best encapsulates the 369 code, that what Tesla said. If you only understood the magnificence of the 369, you'd have the keys to the universe, because 33 has 2 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, and 3 times 3 is 9. So that 33 is really the master frequency of the master frequency, if that makes any sense. And so the name of Jesus is very powerful, and so is Yeshua or Jerome or any of the other names of Jesus, Yeshua, on number 33, Christ and Easter. So you may have said that before that or after that, but yeah, after I said it, but great minds think alike, right? So anyhow, so be be a little bit stealthy also this week. Don't let everything be shown, because that's the general meaning. Sometimes we have to be a little bit behind the scenes. We can't let everything be shown to everybody, so we have to use discernment. I think that's part of the message of that also. If people are very programmed and very triggered, and your well-meaning words could be used against you also, and make you, and others may make it seem like you're the crazy one, or you're being ridiculed, or whatever. So be a little bit stealthy this week. If people are very, I mean, they've been very easily triggered in general, but I think we find even more of that. But yes, I agree with the name of Jesus being very powerful. I mean, look at the world. I mean, that's in the Western world. I think next to Islam, right? That's the biggest religion in the world. I probably had that a little bit wrong, but think of everything that's happened in the name of Jesus, right? Extremely, extremely powerful. And think of the reactions people have. Some people feel love and connection. Some people feel anger, when they hear that name. But very few people are neutral about it. I'll put it that way. Um, Oh, thank you. Yes, I think we have a pretty cool channel here. Yeah. So on that note, speaking of a cool channel, we're gonna have the cool healer ladies on Tuesday. That'll be for the spring equinox. So that'll be Heather Istara, who does beautiful channeling herself and healing work. And then we had the very powerful Irish healer. So it's St. Patrick's Day. So we'll say Irish healer Elaine Malloy on, and she does amazing healing work. She's really a master healer. I mean, they both are in their own right. So I'll be here too. I'll be behind the scenes. That's going to be ladies' night out, and then Wednesday we're going to do mediumship readings through me here on the channel also. So anyway, that'll all be on the community board. You have the information now. Both start times are 7 Eastern Daylight Time. And Archangel Michael, did I just pull Michael? Wow. The chief of the angels. Yay. I am with you, giving you the courage to make life changes that will help you work on your divine life purpose. No matter what happens, Archangel Michael is not just our protector, but our wisdom, our strength, our confidence, our power, and kind of a lead into all the archangelic energies and everything. So anyway, thank you, Millie, for that. Thank you so much. Yeah, we have a wonderful community here. Joe saying Easter's another pagan holiday. Right. It's uh, uh, Ostara. Yeah, it's part of the Celtic wheel of the year. It's Ostara, the spring equinox. Yeah. And then we come to Beltane, which is a very powerful celebration around May 1st. So very nice. So we're going to get going because we're late. Again, 1212 Make a Wish. Thanks everybody for hanging out for so long. Love you. See some of you Tuesday right here. And you'll get to see the ladies work and some really beautiful transmission work. A couple other things. I can't think of it now. All right. Love you. See you next time.